Alright, welcome back. And so while we were on our break, we took a look at some articles and found an article about a man who called the air marshal on a woman from Nigeria.
Well, had her kicked off the flight. I don't know.
I thought he called the air marshal.
I mean, they may have been escorted by
the air marshal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, what happened is this woman, Queen Obiama. I'm guessing on the pronunciation of her name. I apologize if I butchered it. Went to, sit in her assigned seat in business class and found someone sitting in her seat. He refused to move, so one of the flight crew asked her to just sit in a different seat. And before takeoff, she went to go to the bathroom, and when she was headed back to her seat, that same man that had been in her seat was blocking her way. She asked him multiple times, she said, "Excuse me." He refused to move, so she squeezed past him. He then complained about her pungent odor, whatever the hell that means. Basically, he didn't like the product she was using.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or she'd been on an airplane for hours. Let's see, she had been flying from, it says here somewhere. She explained she was taking her children to school in Canada for the first time. I'm sorry, I'm reading from an article from the Chicago Tribune. And that they had appointments they couldn't miss. Despite her situation, crew members refused to let her and her children back on the flight. Let's see, it does say where. Anyway, the pilot had her removed.
Her and her children.
Her and her children removed because the male passenger had complained that her smell was pungent and he was not comfortable flying with her. Okay, again, white people, quit fucking with black people. Seriously. She was a woman just trying to take her kids to Canada so they could go to school. She did not deserve this treatment.
She hadn't earned it in any way. She didn't do anything.
She was just traveling from Nigeria to Canada. She'd probably been on an airplane
for a while.
She'd been traveling. Mm-hmm. And, this is on United. They are...
Oh, God. Another United problem.
Right, exactly. I mean, we're talking suffocated puppies and 2-year-olds being forced to sit in their mother's laps for 4 hours and doctors dragged off of the plane because they oversold, basically. It's certainly not helping them out. But, we can do better.
We can. It's just people don't want to try.
It's just a simple matter of
making an
effort.
You
can have your feelings about black people all you want. Hate them, I don't care. But have some fucking common decency, Oops.
The whole time your mic has been on the floor.
It has been on the floor. Hopefully yours was picking us up.
It probably was.
Okay. Let's clip it over here. Maybe this will keep it from falling again.
Ow.
Anyway, hate them, like them. I don't really care. None of my business. I have friends that are racist. But when you're in a public space with somebody, it doesn't hurt you to just leave them be.
For real.
Let them conduct their business and be out of your face. Treat them with a little bit of dignity and move on. It's not going to kill you, and it doesn't cost anything to just not be a dick.
Yeah, it's one of the only things that's free in this world anymore.
Yeah, it is really just
human
not that
decency.
hard to treat another human being, regardless of the color of the skin, and regardless of how you feel about them. I'm sorry, I deal with a lot of assholes in my life. And I manage to be polite to them when I'm in public with them. There are a lot of people in this town that I don't like, but when I see them, if we manage to not avoid each other, I say hello, I am polite, and I move on. I don't get in their face and waggle my finger and call them names.
I usually just avoid those people. I don't even think...
And I certainly don't call the cops on people.
No.
Just for existing in a way that makes me mildly uncomfortable.
Every time, a drunk person comes in, or a stranger hangs around in the lobby, or whatever, a homeless person, whatever.
Taking a break from the 100-degree heat.
Whatever. Someone will come in, hang out in the store, and then my employees will continue to ask me, should we call the police?
No. The answer to that is almost always no.
No.
Are they being disruptive?
No.
Are they vandalizing
No.
anything? Are they, destroying property?
Nope.
Are they harassing your customers?
That's what I always tell them. I'm like, they're not doing anything. The second they start doing something that they shouldn't be doing, that's when I'll call the police. But chilling in my lobby is not affecting me. If they start harassing my customers, then we'll have issues.
For anybody who might be listening to this who doesn't live in Oklahoma,
we have
from basically February until October, November, it gets hot. Stupid, humid, hot.
Yeah.
And if you're without a car, and let me tell you, our public transportation,
Oklahomans tend to
right, cars are expensive, but if you and you really kind of need one
poor
to get,
state.
Yeah, and our public transportation really sucks. So people end up walking a lot.
Yeah.
And
if you live 45 minutes walking distance from your work and you have to take the bus to get there so you're not walking in the heat, it's going to take you 2 hours to get to work.
So most people walk.
Yeah.
If they can't find a ride, they'll walk. Well, when you're on a really long walk, it gets really, 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 really hot. And heat stroke is a real concern.
Yeah, in this state.
So, I don't honestly have a problem with somebody who's hot and tired coming in, sitting down in an air-conditioned space, cooling off, resting, and then continuing on about their day without purchasing anything from the restaurant. As long as they're not hurting anybody, let them sit.
I literally don't give a fuck.
Let them get their free cup of water and move on.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, but people call the cops just way too easy. And for some populations, that can turn into a life or death situation really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was a kid that took his sister to the prom, and I stopped in at a Waffle House. Waffle House is having some serious issues lately. Anyway, it's like the third person in the last month that's been attacked by the police in or around a Waffle House. Anyway, this guy stopped in with his sister. He took her to the prom, and they stopped in for some late night dinner. I'm not really sure what led to the incident, but a cop was called. Stop calling the cops on brown people. Anyway, the cop starts choking him, puts his hand around his throat, throwing him up against the wall, threw him down on a curb. I mean, the kid's honestly lucky he didn't lose his life. Or wasn't severely injured from the incident. Because there's always that one dickhead. There's always that one cop who's fast with the trigger or wants to body slam something.
Too many cops are fast with the trigger, and it needs to end.
Especially
because it's killing people.
Although it does happen to white people, don't get me wrong.
Traumatizing children.
Right, but let me finish my thought here. Although it does happen to white people, it happens more to brown people.
As they are the smaller population.
Even percentage-wise, a percentage of their population... A greater percentage of them have violent interactions with the cops. Oh, and the kid's charged when they arrested him? Suspicion of resisting arrest. Suspicion of resisting. That's even better than, why did you arrest him? Resisting arrest. Why were you arresting him? Because he didn't immediately comply with every order that I threw at him. He's
literally lucky that he didn't have a gun pointed at him.
It can literally turn deadly in a heartbeat for these people. We really, as the majority, as white people, need to understand that while interactions with the police generally go quite fine for us,
it doesn't always end happily for the other people.
It often doesn't end well for people of color and minorities.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you look, and here's where the kicker comes for white people, if you look poor and homeless.
Yeah.
If you look rich and you drive up in a Beamer, you can sit there and cuss the cops out all goddamn day long, and ain't nobody gonna do a damn thing to you. It'll be yes ma'am, and I'm sorry ma'am, and, I can't do that for you, and it's yes ma'am, no ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
But when a person of color even throws the slightest amount of shade, all of a sudden they're being slammed on the ground or guns pointed at their face.
Yep.
A black person can respectfully say, I am a licensed carry gun owner. I do have my gun in the car. And 5 seconds later, they're dead.
Yeah.
Legally carrying a gun that they were licensed to legally carry in a concealed carry state.
Yeah.
shot dead in his car because a black person is scary and he had a gun. And he might have possibly twitched in the wrong direction after stating clearly that he had a gun and he was not reaching for it. I mean, honestly, who says, I just want to let you know.
Even in their own state.
I have a licensed gun in my car and I am licensed to conceal carry. You're not going to say that if you're a threat. You could
even fully put your hand on the glove box compartment, pull it open, and they'd be like, no, it's fine. Don't do that. They're not going to shoot me dead for it.
No. I have pulled things out. I've not had my hands on the wheel. I've done all kinds of stuff when I get pulled over. Not once have I had a gun pointed at me.
Nope.
Not once. Not ever. And I have been pulled over several times after breaking the law, speeding, or whatever, not having tags on my car, brake lights out. I mean, all kinds of reasons I've been pulled over. Some of them I was, actively breaking the law, like speeding, driving too close, etc. I was being a public nuisance.
I've been pulled over for that.
Not even unclipping the thing on his belt.
Yeah.
No guns pointed at me. Nobody
Nothing.
acting like I was any sort of a threat.
Yeah.
Never have I been treated like that.
Nope.
But I've seen plenty of videos where...
Oh, man. A white person will hand me money in the drive-thru, and if we check it, the audacity.
How I couldn't possibly have.
A counterfeit $100 bill. I check every single one. When I was in the 7-Eleven...
Because you're required to.
Yeah. In a 7-Eleven... One time when I was a kid,
over a 20, you're getting checked.
When I was a kid and I went to 7-Eleven, there was the two Mexican guys standing in front of me, paying for their stuff, and the cashier whips up the $100 bill, checks it, makes sure it's legit, throws it in the register, and I was like, this guy's not going to check my $100 bill. And he didn't. I handed in that bill, he took it, and was like, whatever, here you go.
And see, every time, I've had plenty of people check my bills. And honestly, here's the deal. You can be handed a counterfeit at a bank, at the 7-Eleven, from an ATM.
Yep.
They're in circulation.
Yeah.
You may not even know you've been handed a counterfeit bill. You didn't counterfeit it, but that doesn't mean you don't have a counterfeit in your possession.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they check them all.
Yeah.
And newsflash...
I've bought so many from the store.
Are not Mexican construction workers, okay?
No.
They're white people.
Yeah.
White people commit that crime.
Yes.
Not Mexican construction workers.
No.
They get paid in cash. That's why they have a $100 bill.
Yeah.
More likely you're going to be handed that counterfeit by a white person, not a Mexican.
Yeah. So, there's just these little things that we do.
A lot of people may not even, honestly, I'm not calling anybody out. A lot of people may not even be aware that they have these biases and these prejudices.
Oh, yeah, no, a lot of people don't. Even in my own church, one woman, she took a quiz to see how she reacts to different racial faces. And apparently she reacts more negatively to people of darker colors.
Right.
And she's like, I didn't even realize how biased I was being.
Oh, here's the thing.
I've done the same thing.
I actively know. I hear myself doing it. And I catch myself because I know that these are preconceived judgments from being in, we have, the overall national percentage of black people is 13%. Norman is 6%. Okay? Not exactly around it. And we live in a very, very, very red state. Yeah. And so racism is almost
this town used to be a sundown town.
Yeah. Racism is it's so ingrained around us that I actively have to stop myself and go, that person over there is not a threat. They're just a human being getting their groceries or buying their gas or whatever. And
that's why we, in town, we have racial literacy groups. We have racial education groups. We have a
black chief of police.
Chief of police. We still aren't great, but we're doing better.
They do actively. I mean, he has instituted a lot of programs to actively help. I mean, it's not 100%. You know, we still have our racist cops.
We are progressing,
but they are trying to mitigate some of it. You know, I mean, again, they're not perfect. We've had our incidents.
We've had a recent. We talked about it in the last podcast. I think we've had a couple podcasts ago. The news one, reacting to news headlines.
Oh, the guy
the one that was killed in jail after being thrown
out of the hospital,
but died
after
jail.
being thrown out of the hospital and arrested for acting erratically.
The people of Norman are pissed. They're having groups, discussions, city council meetings.
But
talking.
Norman
to the
is
police.
a really liberal town, all in all.
Yeah. So, and we regularly talk. We have, like, the town can meet with the police.
There were extremely outraged by that behavior, that our police would behave like that.
Especially police who actively speak with the community.
Yeah, and they're pretty active in staying connected. You know,
they have meetups. And they have like little community outreach programs.
They do try, and of course most of our police officers live here in town.
Yeah,
you know, they are members of our community. They grew up here just like everybody else. You know, Norman's one of them towns nobody escapes.
Yeah, some people
do, but most people end up coming back at some point.
Yeah, either to visit or to live.
But the point is that is something that I have to actively notice and try to not behave in a way, basically acknowledging my own biases and racism when it happens and not act on it.
But we're aware of it.
Right, but so many people aren't. I'm not racist. Well, you just did this very racist thing, but I'm not a racist. I have a black friend. Like, that's some sort of justification. I have black friends, so I can behave any way I feel like.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
No, you still have inherent biases and racism, and we all have it.
It's how
you act on that.
Yeah.
You know, I react differently to darker faces because I don't see a lot of them.
Yeah.
Norman is very, very, we're like 80% white.
Yeah.
We have a heavy Native American population.
Well, yeah.
But
we live around a lot. We're in Oklahoma.
Yeah, there's a few reservations in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, but...
Shit, there are whole towns and cities named after tribes. Yeah.
Yeah. So Norman is not one of them.
No. We are a white racist town.
Very. Yeah, it was a sundown town well into the 60s.
Deeply rooted, getting better, progressing further, and
slowly but surely.
I mean, of all of Oklahoma, honestly, it's not.
It is a little tiny spot of purple in the middle of the sea of red.
We've progressed further than most of our own state. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we're getting there.
We're a little less redneck than most of the rest of the areas, but.
I mean, Oklahoma still affects us, but
yeah.
But we've progressed. Like,
we are a little more careful.
Okay,
we're more careful with how we react to those biases.
Exactly.
We're aware of it, but a lot of people aren't.
And I really do believe that more people need more racial education and racial literacy and training, basically, that to train your brain out of how you think or react to people based on the color of their skin, even it being unintentional.
But, yeah. Most of this conversation, after we got done with the whole slavery thing, is white people stop calling the cops on black people. Unless they are actively committing a crime. Actively act, not like you think they might think about it later. Actively committing a crime in front of you. Stop calling the cops. You could be calling for their death.
You could be, and it's your fault.
You know, I mean, an innocent supper at Waffle House turns ugly real fast when the cops get called.
Yeah.
You know, we need to be aware of that as a group. Mm-hmm. We as white people need to be aware that while it ain't going to happen when you call the cops on Cousin Bubba, it will happen when you call it, there's a very real possibility it can turn deadly, if not injurious, if you call the cops on somebody who's just arguing with you or being a little bit loud.
Not even speaking at all. Not disrupting your day in any other way than just to be the color brown.
Yeah.
So,
or having the audacity to question you on something.
Or sit in a coffee shop.
Ask to use the bathroom key. Ooh, that's dangerous.
So scary. Well, that's the end of the Jazz and Eli podcast.
Oh, we want to give a shout out. We do have an eBay store, which I believe we may have mentioned a time or two before.
Well, it's official now.
But we officially have an actual searchable store, so you can go into the search for a seller and find us. We are Tiva's Love Novelties, if you want to search us by name. Our website is, and Eli will link it down below, stores.ebay.com/Tiva's Love is
Well, I think we should mention the HTTP.
Okay, http://stores.ebay.com/Tiva's Love. We will link. We also have a Poshmark store. It is at Tiva's _love. So you can find us there.
@
Yeah, at the @ Tiva's _love.
Same with Twitter. If you want to follow our store for recent updates or just something that you may have not seen on either eBay or Poshmark, just if you scrolled over it or something or you weren't looking. And then follow us on the Jazz and Eli Podcast Twitter at Eli Podcasts for updates for when our videos come out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below if you want to hear specific topics or if you just want to tell us your opinion on anything that we have talked about.
Please be kind.
We have different opinions. It's okay.
Yeah, everybody's entitled to their own. Our opinions are based on our experiences in life.
Yep,
yours are based on yours. We respect your opinion. We want to hear it, but yeah, don't be mean.
Don't be mean.
Don't troll.
Mean. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm sure we'll get trolls.
Eventually.
Everybody gets trolls. If anybody's watching,
listening, I guess.
Listening, yeah.
But yeah, suggestions. We would love to have some topics to talk about. We struggle some weeks with coming up with something to talk about.
I think we're really going to start going into social justice matters / politics because that's what we're really interested in. That's what we really like to talk about. And as you can see, we turned something that would literally the first part of this only lasted about 10 minutes, and we turned it into an hour. So I think this
really is our passion.
Yeah.
So yeah, follow us on eBay. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us at Poshmark. Follow us.
Follow us. I will leave everything down in the description box below. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.